Wow, Kyle Larson channeling Cale Yarborough vibes from the 70s, a mid-season driver swap, and Jordan Bianchi stops by as we get you set for the round of 12.
NASCAR Daily with Shannon Spake.
Happy Monday, everyone. It's September 23rd. We made it through the weekend. We made it through Bristol weekend. I'm Shannon Spake, and welcome to NASCAR Daily. We're going to break down the Cup Series race. Xfinity Series playoffs are getting ready to start this weekend in Kansas. We'll get you caught up on that. And how about the driver swap between Justin Haley and Corey LaJoie? We're going to break all that down as Jordan Bianchi is going to join us. But first, let's start with racing on Friday night. Xfinity Series drivers getting their playoffs set. Oh, it was General Custer, the defending champion, who was able to drive to victory at Bristol. Take a look at that. What a night it was for Cole Custer out there. So much fun to watch him get the victory. So much fun also to get set for the round of 12, which will start for those playoff guys this weekend in Kansas. So here they are. Take a look. Justin Allgaier, he's out front, 27 good to the cut. However, Cole Custer was your regular season champion. He got those extra 15 points. Below that cut line, it's already there. I'm sorry to say. Sheldon Creed, still looking for that very first win. AJ Allmendinger, Sammy Smith, and Parker Kligerman. So we'll see how things shake out when we get to the Heartland this weekend. What a weekend it was for Kyle Larson. Okay, so let's just start here. Sometimes we have great passing and racing, and it's all over the track, and sometimes you just get pure dominance, and that is what we saw Saturday night from Kyle Larson. Okay, so Alex Bowman started on the pole, right? We know that. But when Larson took the lead for the first time on lap 33, well, that was all she wrote. Look at this. He is the cutest thing ever. I just want to so he led 4 times for 462 laps, which is the most ever by a Hendrick Motorsports driver. I'm going to repeat that. The most ever by a Hendrick Motorsports driver. Okay, so we did look at some of the stats. Jeff Gordon, he led 400 laps at Dover in 1995. He led 431 in Martinsville in 1997. But nobody has led 462 laps. It's actually the most by a driver in Bristol since Cale Yarborough did it back in 1977. What a weekend for Kyle Larson. Here's what the big winner had to say.
I don't know. I've had a lot of good cars since I've come to Hendrick Motorsports, so it's tough to say. But, man, that was just great execution all weekend by the team. You know, practice good. You got to qualify good. We did that. And, yeah, just had a great car. So thanks to the whole 5 team. They're the best in the business. And we dominate a lot of races, but we might not close them all out. So it feels really good to close one out here in this HendrickCars.com Chevy.
It's so cool. I love that he's able to share this moment with his kid, with Owen, who, of course, races himself. I love this tradition that the drivers have started. I think Kevin might have started it with Keelan, having them kind of come over to the car and share this moment. I think it's really cool. All right, 5 wins on the season for Kyle Larson. And I feel like he's had a pretty quiet playoffs. Well, that bear has woken up. And I think that if you do not have Kyle Larson definitely as a guy making the championship 4 and even your number 1 favorite for a champion in 2024. I think that you need to rethink that. What a weekend. We are going to break that down. Social Speedway, we'll see some more from their celebration. And Mama Larson, Caitlin, is going to join us as well tomorrow on Social Speedway to talk about what that's like to watch her son and obviously her husband get it done. So we did have some playoff issues from drivers. And obviously the 4 drivers that did not advance were involved in that list. Ty Gibbs had a speeding penalty. Harrison Burton had a problem. Joey Logano spun. We knew he was locked in. Chase Briscoe with the slow pit stop and Martin Truex Jr. speeding. The 2017 champ will not advance in his last full-time season as a driver. Let's hear from Martin and Ty right now. Hear what they had to say.
Yeah, it's really tough, you know, when it's 0.09 miles per hour that, you know, kind of screws your whole chance at a good season up. So, yeah, just I don't know how that happened. I didn't know I was even that close, honestly. I felt like I did the same thing as every other stop. But, yeah, sometimes you're just a foot, maybe I was a foot to the left, or it's so tricky when you're going from that curve section to the straight to get your lights. And yeah, it's on me, obviously. It's my mistake. So,
yeah, it was just unfortunate there. We were really good in practice and qualifying, just
little bit too loose tonight. Fire off too tight, so just unfortunate. It's being penalties on me. Just, we run the lights so close, and I just got a little bit too much, I guess, and my fault. But unfortunate. Proud of these guys and all the effort that they've given me, and we'll keep hammering down.
How do you describe the emotion you're feeling right now?
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Listen, 4 guys had to go home. We knew that. I hate it for Martin Truex Jr. in his last full-time season. I'm one of those people who really hope to see him get back to victory lane. I just, two Xfinity Series championships in his career, a Cup Series championship. I'd love to see him go out on a high note and win a race at the end of 2024. We do know he's going to be in the Daytona 500 next season with Cole Pern. We've already talked about that. Ty Gibbs, he was racing behind Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez had to really keep Ty Gibbs behind him, and Suarez just had a miserable weekend. He did come in 36 to the good, qualified 35th. He was in the back all night, 3 laps down, but did what he needed to do to advance, and here's Suarez.
I can only control so much, I can only control what the 99 car can do, and everything else is out of my hands. At one point there, I feel bad for the 54 because I had to hold him back quite a bit, and he got past, but I had to do that, I wasn't fast enough to drive away from him, so I had to play games to be able to affect him as much as possible in a clean way. So, yeah, luckily it worked out good. We have to relax a little bit and focus on the next run.
Yeah, don't relax too long there, Daniel Suarez, because if you look at the playoff leaderboard right now, he is one of the drivers that is below that red line as we head to Kansas this weekend. So the 4 guys below, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, and Chase Briscoe. Kyle Larson, of course, on top. He is 39 to the good. Joey Logano, he's right on that playoff line as well, just 4 to the good heading into Kansas. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So obviously the playoffs, that was a big story this past weekend in Bristol. Another story that broke this weekend was between Rick Ware Racing and Spire Motorsports. So they're going to swap drivers starting this weekend just to get a jump on 2025. So Corey LaJoie is going to drive the 51 and Justin Haley is going to take over the Spire number 7. Remember, Haley's first Cup starts came with Spire while he was a full-time driver in the Xfinity Series. For more on this, because we don't actually see like mid-season trades in NASCAR a lot, Jordan Bianchi from The Athletic. Did this surprise you, Jordan, when this was announced?
Honestly, no, because if you go back to the news that Corey LaJoie was going to be out of the Spire number 7 car for 2025, immediately, as I reported this story, I was told that Justin Haley was the number 1 contender for this ride. And as this kind of played out, and very quickly, I heard that Corey LaJoie was the leading candidate to end up at Rick Ware Racing. So very quickly, the pieces of this puzzle were they were going to effectively swap teams next year anyway. And so as you play this forward a little bit, and as things kind of came together, and it looks like Corey is going to end up with Rick Ware Racing, at least for obviously the rest of this year, then maybe next year as well, why would you not want to enact this deal to get everybody kind of in their new homes as quickly as possible, to get acclimated, and that way you can hit 2025 running and not have that little adjustment period, if you will. So not completely surprised that this came together, but I will say this wasn't like preordained or anything. This came together very quickly last week.
Yeah, and it's not like other sports where a guy can just change the uniform and go over, right? There are sponsor obligations. You have to get people to sign off. So there's a lot that goes into these decisions.
Yeah, I mean, this is much more complicated than a player for player swap in pretty much every other sport. There are sponsor considerations that have to be made, and that was one of the hangups as everybody kind of worked through this was, well, we have XYZ for a sponsor for these races, and they signed on to be with this driver. We've got to go to them and make sure everybody's on board. And that's on both sides. And so it's certainly, it's hard to navigate these things, but when you have 2 teams and 2 drivers and the people involved want to make it happen, where there's a will, there's a way. And that was kind of the case in this instance.
So it was a butt whooping by Kyle Larson Saturday night in Bristol. Listen, I think we all went into it, at least I did, like not really knowing what we were going to see tire wear because of what we saw in the spring. Kyle did say that he knew 10 laps into practice that the tires were not going to wear like they did earlier this year. Did you expect to see what we saw on the track?
No one did. No one did. At least not going into the weekend. Everybody going into the weekend had been told what we saw in the spring with massive tire wear was going to be kind of how this race played out Saturday night. Yeah, the teams were going to make some adjustments and everything, but Goodyear had done a tire test, and the wear was kind of the same level as it had been, and there wasn't going to be any change. But then once practice started, and Kyle said 10 minutes, I think everybody knew within about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, wait a minute, this is much different. And so then everything changed. And then the giant question mark.
Why was it so different?
Well, that's
Jordan?
the thing, right? If I had the answer, I promise you, I would not be in the role I'm in now. I'd be making a lot more important decisions. But that's the thing of all this. Nobody knows. Everybody has theories. Everybody has different theories. Crew chiefs have their own theories. Drivers have their own theories. Goodyear's got their theory. There is really no consensus on why this was, why the spring happened. We still don't really know why the spring happened. We had all that wear. And then it happened again when they did the tire test this summer. And then yet why, when you go back this weekend, did you not have it? And so was there more tire? Was the track taking more tire compound? That's one theory. Was the ambient temperature and the track temperature different to the point that changed everything? That's one theory. I mean, there are so many different ways to look at this. The bottom line is, though, we just don't know.
Well, I know this. I know that you're going to be on Inside the Playoffs on Thursday, and I know you like that. That's a good little lead into promoting the show on Thursday night at 7 o'clock on True TV. Jordan Bianchi will be there, and I can't wait to find out your thoughts on the weekend, and then, of course, the top 12 heading in to Kansas this week. I appreciate you getting up early with us today, my friend, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, every Monday we do best day ever. Who had the BDE of the weekend? I'm going to be a little selfish here, and I'm going to give it to me. I mean, listen, it's my show, so I'm going to give it to me. And the reason that I had the best weekend ever was because I was able to go out to Bristol as a fan. Take a look at this. I just took pictures. Walter Cox, if you guys know Walter, longtime spotter. I saw Kim Kuhn, Bob Pockris, some fans. There's Cheryl Hamilton. If you've ever gotten a credential from NASCAR, you'll see her. Marquel, he actually brought the ring. Remember, we had him on Quell on the show last week. He played in the battle at Bristol, and he brought the ring onto pit road to show me. So I was really glad I was able to stop by. Listen, I haven't been to the racetrack in a while, of course, because I've been in the studio, and to see people that I haven't seen in such a long time, everyone's so excited for this show, for Inside the Playoffs, for everything that's taking place. It was so great to see everybody I gave so many hugs out there in Bristol, and it was really just a special weekend. And I'm so glad that I got to document some of it. So I had the best day ever. We're going to have the best week ever. I said, Caitlin Larson, she's going to join us tomorrow for Social Speedway, and we'll get you caught up on everything that you missed in the social world. That'll be tomorrow. Have a great Monday, everybody.
NASCAR Daily with Shannon Spake.